Shalom Mishpacha. This is hopefully a short message, and we'll see how long it runs. But it is a very important message, and I feel that it is a message that you all need to hear, because I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are making mistakes in your life that are detrimental to your health. Now, I don't want to go at the beginning and describe myself, because I'm in front of you and I'm 100% healthy, 100% disease free, Baruch Hashem. And I thank the Master in heaven and earth for my health and for my well-being. And myself, if I describe myself, I'm better than a 30-year-old. Put it this way, I can compete with any 25-year-old man, no problem whatsoever. Now, the reason for that are several. And the reasons are probably from my childhood, of how I ate, and how I was particular about my food that I had with my family, how my mother described me, etc. But that's a whole story. Forget about that story. Let's talk about the present. The present is this: that you all want to be abundant and wealthy. Okay, you want to have abundance, you want to have wealth, but with wealth, it is very essential that you have health. Health is very, very important, because with health you will be able to enjoy your abundance. You'll be able to live longer, longevity of life, health and money to support yourselves and your families, and grow yourselves in business and other areas of your life. Absolutely no problem. Wonderful. I absolutely encourage it. So the Torah, our holy books, they're all about abundance, health, and good living. That's what they're all about. And they're about statutes and judgments and things that God has given us, but they're all geared towards our well-being, our benefit. If we follow them closely, we benefit. If we don't follow them closely, we don't benefit, and we end up going the other way, which is the side of the scale, where the scale starts to tilt towards bad health, towards our finances not being healthy, other things not being healthy in our life, bad choices, and the list goes on. As I've described many times before, that I had students who left me years ago, and they are probably nowhere to be found today, and they are down and out. And I really mean that. They're down and out. They've got nothing to show for themselves. They got nothing. And I can show you students today that are still with me, and students that have actually followed me to the letter, and they are prospering, they are healthy, they have a good family life, everything is great. So let's come back down to health, and let's break some myths today. And this is going to be shocking, but shocking is an interesting word as well by itself. A lot of the time, the things that you eat and what you hear from the internet, from maybe if you watch TV. I mean, I don't really watch TV these days. Even in England 6-7 years ago, I had a TV, but I never switched it on. All my TV comes through the laptop, or it comes through telephone. These days you got iPads and all that going on. You don't need a big TV screen sitting in your home. Some people still like to have it for obvious reasons, especially if you're Indian, Pakistani, or from the subcontinent. You definitely will have a TV in your house, because it's kind of considered good to have a TV screen. You understand. If you're one of those guys, you'll understand what I'm saying. People like to see a TV in your home, especially they say, oh yeah, TV is a good sign. Anyway, my point is this, that there's a lot of information that you hear from the media, and there's a lot of this advice from what is good, what is bad, and I can tell you this honestly today, the majority of that advice is wrong. 20 years down the road, all this so-called science that was presented to us, because we grew in this science, and most of this science turns out to be baloney. It's totally false, it's inaccurate, and it is not helpful. So we do not believe no such science. We do not believe it. We go back to our books. Okay, excuse me. Okay, so coming back to one of the key ingredients that is mentioned in scripture, and I like to bust some myths, and so we live in a very problematic times these days with all sorts of illnesses and diseases and chemicals. One thing that you don't want to consume is honey. Okay. Now the problem with honey today is call it a vomit, call it a poop of the bee, whichever way you want to look at it. We do not eat that. We try to avoid it, and the reason why I say that is we do not have honey as in the ancient times. It is no longer the same thing. It is not like is farmed fresh. And I can even tell you that I was in Pakistan not too long ago, and I was in the mountains area where they were producing honey, and what they were doing, that they were putting jaggery, which is a sweetener, is a cheaper sweetener over there. It might be expensive over here, and it's called gur, and it is produced from sugar canes, and they were mixing that into their honey. So they were putting that in the honey, so the bees would come and take that, and then the bees would give the honey, but it would be mixed in with that stuff. In other words, it wasn't the pure form of the honey that would be produced from flowers. So if you don't want to believe that the honey is basically honey poop, it's not honey poop. Honey vomit, technically maybe not honey vomit, but it is bee spit, because bees add something to it from their mouth, and then it becomes what you find on your plate, I guess, or in your cup. It's not exactly that still, because it's stuff added in. Now, I can tell you what happens with food corruption in some countries. In some countries, food corruption, the way it works is they'll say raw honey, but it's not really raw honey, because they add fructose to it. Now, whenever you go to the supermarket and you see it says natural ingredients, be very careful to avoid that, because natural ingredients means they can add anything into it, and they sell it to you organic or whatever, and you end up paying for it, and it may be actually harmful to you. So I would suggest to avoid honey unless you produce it yourself. How many of us produce honey? I doubt if any of us produce honey, probably zero. So honey is out as a sweetener. I will always recommend to you one sweetener and one only, not white sugar. Now, if you like to drink pop, soda as they call it in the US, Coca-Cola in the UK, Pepsi and things like that, 7-Up, if you like to drink it once a week, twice a week, it's okay, you can do that. But know this, that it contains a high level of fructose. It can contain a product called screen. These are cheap sweeteners. The cheap sweeteners are put into those products, and a small amount won't harm you. Small amount meaning that if you had it once a week, it's not going to harm you. But if you drank it every day, there is a potential for your body to be over fructosed or over sugared, and then it can affect you negatively. Let's just put it that way. So what is the best sweetener to have? The best sweetener to have, unless because the problem is that anything that is good for you is going to be slightly on the money side, expensive side. So you got to come out of this mindset. A lot of you live in this mindset, I don't have. You got to stop this mindset of I don't have. I've never in my life said I don't have, because I always have. So I don't say that. Don't ever say that I don't. Don't ever use the word I don't or I can't. Those are the two words you need to completely avoid out of your vocabulary. And if you continue to use those words, they will have detrimental effect on your family life, on your health, on your finances. So those are the two words totally should be avoided. So what I would suggest to you is my Indian students and my Eastern students, that very well that what gur is, jaggery. Jaggery is easily accessible. It's made from sugar cane. It's totally 100 times better than any sugar out there. 100 times. It's better than white sugar, hands down. It's better than honey, hands down. It's better than honey. In fact, that company I told you about one time, Nanosoma was a product that actually came out of jaggery. Think about that, and it was healing so many different diseases. So there are a lot of benefits to having that. And I've already done 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes, and I just started my lecture. So my point is this, that what do? Now we are kind of gearing towards, and we are veering towards our ancient diet. What was our ancient diet? Well, we had grains, we had corn, we had wheat, we had rice, we also had meat. Meat actually made a big portion of our diet, okay? So some of you people out there, some of you take substitutes, like when I say substitutes, what do you call vitamins? And I kind of have to switch between American and English, British English. We call vitamins over in England. So some of you take these vitamins and supplements. Now, you may be paying hundreds of dollars for supplements. And I have in the past, just to check things out. Somebody said, oh, this thing, is supposed to be great. And I said, let me check it out. And I tried it, and no, it didn't turn out so great. You spend $110 on a supplement, and it doesn't turn out so great. The claims are made, but again, we are different human beings. If you took your 5 fingers, took your hand, you got 5 fingers, they're all different shape. We're all different. We all act different. So some of you, let me give you a manifesting difference. Some of you might be more audible people. In other words, you may easily manifest something audibly, what you hear. Some of you are more visual. You may manifest easily by being visualizing. And some of you may be alternative, maybe a mixture of both, or possibly a third method. Maybe you're a scripter, maybe you're a writer, and you manifest more easier if you write. So it's all different for everybody, okay? So to give you a simple advice, listen very careful. This is the point to start to listen. In fact, you should be listening before that, but if you have, I thank you. But I want to now help you to have long lives, healthy lives, and the least disease possible. If you have any kind of disease today, if you had diabetes, blood pressure, any of those guys, and if you followed my plan today, you will no longer have those diseases. Rest assured. Okay. So we're gonna go towards an animal diet. What's an animal diet? Well, an animal diet is this. By the way, eggs are also animal diet. Make sure to introduce at least 2 eggs in your diet a day. Okay? Doesn't matter whether you like the eggs or don't like the eggs, you must introduce 2 eggs in your diet a day. Stop taking all supplements. Forget about supplements. Don't take any of them. Start taking 2 eggs a day, and if you're finding eggs hard to eat, there are a number of eggs can be cooked, and I don't need to explain them. There's 1,000 ways on the internet. Different videos will explain to you how to make eggs in different formats: scrambled eggs, boiled eggs, fried eggs, all different ways. So you choose your pick, but I encourage you to have 2 eggs a day. Now if you finding it hard, then at least start with 1 and go to 2 eggs a day. Okay? So 2 eggs a day must be in your diet. That's your breakfast. That's your go-to breakfast. 2 eggs a day. And you got to take the whole egg. Don't remove the white and keep the yolk, or remove the yolk, the whole egg, including the white lining. You must eat that whole egg, whichever way you do. Okay? Eat the whole egg. So that's your breakfast, and your breakfast might consist of another item, maybe coffee, maybe tea, and I also highly recommend mint tea. Now mint you can just pick up from your yard, from your garden, and you can put it into your, wash it and put it into your cup or into your pot, and you can boil the water, and the mint comes out in less than 5 minutes, and it's beautiful flavor. And all you got to do is add some if you want to make it sweet, add some jaggery. Brown sugar is great, because that's also made from sugarcane side. Or you can take a maple syrup. Now maple syrup, remember that you're now going towards more expensive side of sweeteners. If your budget allows you, then you can go for maple syrup, no problem. Now the other thing I want you to introduce into your diet is I want you to have only 2 meals a day. I don't want you to have 3 meals a day. That's the biggest mistake people make on the planet. 3 meals a day is a killer. 3 meals a day your body can't handle. Your body needs to break down the food. But if you feel that you have to have 3 meals, then sure. But I discourage 3 meals a day. I encourage you to have 2 meals a day and then a snack. So what's 2 meals a day? It's a breakfast, and after that it's your dinner. Dinner might be at maybe possibly 2 o'clock, possibly 3 o'clock is your dinner. Then you're not going to feel hungry till late, maybe 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. And if you then feel hungry, you have a snack. You decide what your snack is. I don't need to tell you what that is. In my case, a snack might be peanuts, it might be cashews, it might be dates. Any of those items can make a good snack. And if you like eating crisps, some people like eating crisps. I know, a little bit unhealthy sometimes because they are made from vegetable fat, vegetable oil. But all vegetables oils are bad. So try to avoid as much as you can, because that's what causes inflammation, that's what causes your heart attacks, that's what causes your body's problems. So the least you take those, the better. Okay, the more you move away, the better. The more you move to an animal diet, the better. The animal diet's going to be beef, it's going to be fish, it's going to be chicken. And sure, if you still like to eat your greens, although I am not so much of a fan of green diet myself. I never was and I never will be. But the thing is that greens, you can add a little bit greens to your diet if you feel like it. But that's carbohydrate. Carbohydrate, your body is always bad for you. It's never good for you, carbohydrates. But if you like eating some, sure, introduce a little bit into your meal. Carbohydrates. But I prefer legumes. Legumes such as lentils. There's different variety of lentils. There's beans. There's kidney beans. There's there's navy beans. There's all sorts of beans. Introduce some beans into your diet, and they are great for protein. And then the meat. Now I found a product because I'm a lover of liver. I love chicken livers. I love them. And when I went to the East, it was many years. It took me, my goodness, maybe over 20 years, maybe 30 years since I've been a kid, that I actually went to the East and I had beef liver. I have never had beef liver. I don't remember since a kid. Anyway, so when I went over there, I went to the butcher, and one day, I said, can I have the liver? And he said, sure, no problem. And he gave me the liver, and I very hesitantly had it cooked, because I wasn't sure what the taste is going to be like, because I was so used to chicken livers, and I really love chicken livers, and I had them in my diet every week. I would definitely have once a week chicken livers. Now, I had the beef liver, and I was pleasantly surprised. The taste was pretty good. And my wife, she said to me that, oh, I don't like, liver. I said, it's okay, you just give it to me, and you can make yourself whatever you desire to eat, no problem. So, I loved it. I really liked beef liver. So, wow, it's really nice taste. So I went and I got some more. And I put it in my freezer, and I said, I'm going to have it a week later. At least one time a week I'm going to have this. So let me tell you something. You people of Israel, you the family of Israel, you need to hear this. You have been taught the BS in the media, in the internet, all over the place, that kale is a superfood. No, it is not a superfood. Kale is never going to compare. Kale, spinach, they are not superfoods. Kale cannot compare to chicken liver. Kale cannot stand against beef liver. If you put beef liver, chicken liver against kale, kale is going to be on the floor. That's how bad kale is. So forget about this idea that kale is good for you. Listen, kale does not have nearly the essential nutrients that a liver can provide, so drop kale and go for liver. Now you might say, oh, I don't like the taste, and I have those people as well. I don't like the taste of liver. Okay, fair enough. I want you to go to Amazon, and I can give you the link. There is a desiccated organs capsule that you can buy, and it contains all the nutrients in the world you need. You don't need to have any other nutrients. You're going to get your nutrients in your food and through these capsules. I highly suggest that don't eat the plastic bit of the capsule. I never do. I take the powder out from the capsule and I dump the so-called capsule bits, and I just mix that with a little bit water and I drink it. When I do if I ever have to take a capsule type product, supplement, if I ever have to take it, I don't eat the capsule. Those plastic things, I hate them. So I just remove them from my food, from my stomach. I don't even introduce them, and I encourage you not to, because a lot of the times they are made from substances that are not good for your body. Okay, they're not good for your body. Your body has a hard time breaking them down. and they can be detrimental to your health. Nobody will tell you this. Look, this is not out in the internet, but I'm telling you, just do what I'm telling you. You will live longer, and you will live to tell the tale to your children and your children's children. So avoid capsule things. I don't know what they're called, but whatever they're called, take the powder out, and rather better to hold your nose and eat the powder, with some water in it, than to swallow the capsule. I am not for it, okay? I'm not for it, and I never will be. And plus, sometimes people have a hard time swallowing big capsules, and they could get stuck in your throat, and you could choke on them. So be careful, you don't want to certainly fall into that category. You don't want to be a statistic. So be careful. I think that I've given you advice up to this bit, and what I want to do, those desiccated organs, they're going to have kidney, liver, and heart, especially in there. And I'm going to recommend to you a variety that you can easily find on Amazon, and you can buy it. And the other thing, the $1 million stuff. The $1 million stuff I just forgot. The $1 million stuff that I want to recommend to you is, do not cook with any oils, okay? Unless you have ghee. And if you're an Eastern person, you know what ghee is. Clarified butter. It's called desi ghee. Unless you cook with desi ghee, unless you cook with butter or coconut, which are great oils to cook with, forget about olive oil. Forget about olive oil. Forget about all the other oils. They're nowhere near in the league. Okay, forget about all of them. If you're budget conscious, then stick with peanut oil. If you haven't got peanut allergies, stick with peanut oil. If that's all you can afford, that's okay. If you can introduce some coconut oil and butter into your cooking, then do so. Then sure, do so. But like I said, if you're budget conscious, then the best oil I would recommend, although most oils have their problems, I would recommend budget oil would be a peanut oil type of substance. That will be good for you. So maybe some of you might opt for corn oil, but remember what I said about oils. All oils have their downside because they have chemicals introduced into them, and they're okay to some extent, but there is a point where they start to break down. So with peanut, I know that it has a high smoke point, so it is still better than all those other so-called vegetable oils out there, which are not made from vegetable, they're made from seeds, so they're not really technically good vegetable oils. So I want you to buy something called tallow. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it is animal fat. We use it in the East for cooking. It comes from the beef, and it's called TALLOW, tallow. Okay, tallow is made from beef, and you can find it by grass-fed beef. If you can put tallow into your food, or you could cook your food in tallow, wonderful. I can assure you that by using these methods that I'm describing to you, your diabetes, your blood pressure, your whatever disease will be eradicated in weeks, in days, and you will not be taking medication after that. Guarantee you. You'll be like, I don't need medication. I'm doing great. So, unless you have a psychosomatic illness for which medication is required, you can. Even if these foods allow you to cut your medication by 50%, you're still doing great. Think about that, what I just said. So I think this is enough. I've given you about 23-24 minutes of talk, very important talk, how to benefit your life, how to do good for you. So, within your budget, find the right stuff and use it for yourself. It will do you good, because it will change your lives from where you are, and it will help you in many, many ways. Okay, have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon as more information becomes available, and I want to give you more info on products that I know about which are good for you. Then I will do that. By the way, I have I do not get any commission from Amazon for whatever products they sell, like these different products they sell, like tallow, grass-fed, desiccated organs. I have no commission. Okay, so I'm not teaching you because I'm going to get a commission from Amazon. I don't. I'm telling you because what is good for you. Okay, have a wonderful day. Shalom, shalom.